Greetings, travelers, and welcome to the video. Haha, 1% of people got that joke. Shout out to my brothers and sisters in the Netherlands. I am no joke, 1/4 Dutch. And no, I'm not just gonna make up new ethnicities and say I am them every time I wanna make weird niche jokes. I mean, without a DNA sequence, there's only one portion left and I'm about half German, so I mean, if they even had jokes in Germany, I'd be making them. So anyway, this is the world's dumbest, shortest, most pointless video. Actually, wait, did you see the movie trailer video? Okay, that legit took me like 4 hours to make. But people have been asking lately what game I'm playing lately in the last couple videos. It is, of course, Barbie's Horse Adventures, but I loaded a ton of mods. It's called the Metro Last Light mod. So, okay, back in the day, they were giving out copies of Metro Last Light for free with graphics cards, and I bought one, so I got the game for free. Probably wouldn't have bought it otherwise. I mean, I'd never heard of it. I guess there was like a Metro 2033 game, or maybe that was the name of the book, but the two games are based on the book, and I don't know. So you're obviously seeing it now in the background. It's like a stealth shooter. It's very, very reminiscent of like a low-tech post-apocalyptic, no James Bondy crap version of Splinter Cell. The thing is, though, if you're detected, you'll just kind of aggro the whole room. And yes, I don't say it aggro. I say aggressive, like aggressive, aggressive. I mean, if you're going to be aggressive, you got to start it with ugh. But I mean, aggro is a completely different word, and I'm going to pronounce it aggro because this is English. Ironically, that's pretty much the Latin pronunciation, but still. So anyway, yeah, you aggro the zone, the room, whatever, they come after you, it turns into a first-person shooter, okay? Well, I mean, it kind of was in the first place, but you can bypass an area, you can knock out people, stealth kills, whatever. Oh my god, am I never going to do this? I gave up after about 30%. But to get the best ending, you could try to perfect run the entire game, which is basically 0 kills. There's a couple exceptions where you can't proceed unless you kill somebody, but it's so stupidly impossible. You have to get all pickups, all collectibles, play all instruments. It's oh my god, it's terrible. I mean, as perfectionist as I am, I gave up. Like, what does that tell you? 100% in games is like my jam. But a lot of people have been like, hey, it looks cool. Maybe I should play it. What do you think of it? Is it a good game? Is it not? It looks fun, but is it? So I'm not going to do like a full review. I mean, first of all, this isn't even on my Desolator Gaming channel, which, by the way, I have another channel. I actually have 2 other channels. But super quick, I mean, it's a fantastic game if you're into like story-driven. I mean, I wouldn't say it goes as far as like a playable novel where it's just straight up you're going through and it's like a choose-your-own adventure. Like Heavy Rain and that Life is Strange and that other one where you're escaping from prison. It's very linear. There are very few decisions, if really any. I mean, any that really affect anything. But it's very story heavy. I mean, I'd almost compare it to like a Japanese game with like really heavy cutscenes, like a dot hack game or something like that, where the cutscenes are it and you're kind of like playing the anime and like you are the characters and it's very story driven. This one, I mean, yeah, they got some cutscenes that are maybe a minute. So, I mean, yeah, it's story heavy. It's just not 18-minute cutscenes like some anime games, which, once again, I think Dot Hack had one. It was basically an episode of Dot Hack. By the way, I used to own all 7 of those games on the PS2, and then I sold them for a fortune. Like, go ahead, go try and find a complete set of all 7 right now, anywhere, for sale in the entire world. So Metro is as stealth as you want to make it, and as first-person shooter as you want to make it, but there are areas where, like, you're above ground, that's just straight shooter. I mean, you might be able to run away, but other than that, it's like you're getting attacked by creatures and there's really no sneaking past them. Or if there is, I didn't bother, because usually it's like, oh, you're in the dark. Well, above ground, you're not in the dark, so you're pretty much not sneaking past anything. And the cool thing is there are boss battles. I mean, those are pretty cool. There's like the train chase section, so, it keeps it fresh. It's interesting. You get really into it. Like, if you pay attention to what's going on, you like, listen to the little mini 20-second cutscenes in between each chapter and, listen to what the people are saying and stuff, you'll get the gist of it. And it's like, yeah, I mean, you're in this world, you want to help it, you want to, like, do the right thing, or if you're me, you just want to get revenge on everybody who pisses you off in the entire storyline. By the way, we haven't gotten to that big crossroads, but I'll tell you right now, I'm killing him, okay? That guy caused me so much grief, it's time to go. I ain't doing a conscience run, okay? I ain't doing a flawless run. So yeah, I mean, it's interesting. The enemy types are kind of varied as far as like armor and stuff. It's just basic. It's enough to pass as a game. It's not like, oh, there's 100 unique types and procedurally generated this and that. But the major complaint, I mean, everybody likes the game pretty much. It's mostly positive, I'd say, in the reviews. But the one complaint that everybody shares and is perfectly valid is the game is like Disney ride on rails. In fact, when the reviews first came out, the joke was that some parts are literally on rails. You are on rails. Like you are on a train. Or you're on like a little pump cart or like a little go-kart that goes on the train. But I mean, it makes sense because you're in the metro. Oh, I got this far without actually setting up the scenario. Nuclear war happened. Some aliens or something came down. Nobody knows where they're from. Who knows? They're the dark ones and they're like psionic and they can turn invisible and they're pretty strong and crap. And in the previous game, apparently you dropped nukes on their settlement and killed all of them but one. So now this whole game is about what do you do with the one, and the metro is about to go to war. So you have to live below ground because even just the air above ground is not breathable. That's why if you're up there, you gotta have a gas mask. So there's just like nuclear winter-induced storms and stuff. I don't even know how many years it's been since the war. I want to say based on the age of Artyom, probably 20 plus. So there's major factions, and I believe it's under, oh god, if I get this wrong, I'm gonna hear about it. We'll say Moscow? But you got the Germans are there for some reason. It doesn't have to make sense, and I'm sure it does if you read the books. I mean, okay, so there's the Reds. You know, that's one of the major factions. They're the communists. Then you got the Nazis, which there goes the monetization. You know, they're you know, obviously a new wave of them. They take it a little further even. They're kind of crazy. They're the straight up bad guys. The Reds, it's like, well, if you're all living underground and then you share everything and share food, like maybe in that case communism would work, but like pretty much no other case. So they're like, yeah, take it or leave it. I mean, they're kind of bad, they're manipulative, and they're sneaky, but it's like, yeah, they're not as bad as the Nazis. And then there's God, it's been a while since I paid attention to this game. I'm usually watching Netflix during the latest playthrough, but there's the people you're from. I know you're part of the Rangers. I think it's just like random survivors. It's like the remnants of the military. They don't really have an affiliation. They're just like, I don't know, let people live their life and keep the other two factions from invading your stuff. So at the very beginning of the game, you find a bunker full of just chemical weapons and just like crazy stuff, arms and armaments. I mean, we're talking heavy weaponry, probably grenades, full auto, you know, tons of ammo, which ammo is scarce in this game. I mean, it's been like 20 plus years. They're moving on to like improvised weapons and stuff. So it's pretty, you know, realistic, like, what do they call it? Science, I want to say like projection, like predictive science or science fiction. Oh, like a futurist game or something. I don't know. I think that's a term for it. But there is some like supernatural stuff going on. I mean, not only is it like, oh, you got aliens and they're telepaths in the future and this and that, but like, I don't want to spoil too much of it, even though I think you guys saw the whole cutscene. But like the whole metro, the whole underground network is supposed to be like alive and it has a mind of its own. And then there's like magic kind of. I mean, you ain't blasting lightning bolts and fireballs at people, but like, you know, there's some not normal stuff going on, and I think it adds to it. I wouldn't say it just has to be purist post-apocalyptic and that's it. But yeah, the game is on rails. The replayability isn't terrifically high, although if you play it on medium, okay, you're going to play the game the way it was meant to be played. If you play it on easy, you could literally run and gun the entire game, and it is freaking hilarious. I think my most fun run was when I just put it on easy mode and just ran through just shotgunning people in the face. I mean, I turned it into Halo 2, basically. I mean, the game was basically the stealth is optional meme, but for the whole game. Like, stealth is optional? Cool. And there's, like, ammo everywhere on easy. Then you put it on hard, and stealth is not optional. I mean, you're gonna die if they see you. Like, they will use advanced tactics. I mean, the game is legitimately appropriately hard on hard. So I'd recommend starting on medium, then maybe going to hard, and then maybe just do a joke run on easy. Basically just do like a genocide who cares run or something, you know, from Undertale. The other complaint is like it's so dark it like gets to you, but that's like part of the art, but like not everybody's into that. Not everybody will play like a horror game, which this absolutely is not. I mean, there's very few like legit jump scares or anything, and there's no like ghosts or nothing. But it is dark and depressing. I mean, everything is just gray and whoo, man. You get above ground, it's always storms and storm clouds and gray. I mean, once in a while, maybe the sun's out, but it's a depressing game. Like, just the scenario, and you're like, wow, if you really get into it and you're like, I'm living in this, damn. But besides being dark, I mean, the game is literally dark. Like, you're in the dark. Like, the dark is the mechanic of the game. You're in the shadows, and you can unscrew light bulbs and blow out stuff and shoot out lights with stealth and silencers. And I mean, about halfway through the game, or maybe a third of the way through the game, you get night vision. Otherwise, you got to use night vision scopes and like Oh man, and you always got to keep your flashlight charged because you always have a flashlight. It's really dim, it's really crappy because everything's crappy in the Metro. Looks like about a 20-watt incandescent, but you got to keep charging it with like a handheld charger to get the batteries going. And if it starts running out, and you see that low battery flashing or it turns off, and you're being attacked by creatures, whew, gets intense. And even like night vision mode is kind of creepy because then it's real monotone and it's pretty wild. I mean, the game is intense. It's not a casual kind of game. But if you're not one to get affected by like emotional, dark, depressing games, because this doesn't take it too far. I mean, if you just kind of tell yourself, it's a game, whatever. I'm not gonna put a trigger warning on the damn game. It's just it might not be everybody's idea of fun. Like if you want to go in Fortnite just as a giraffe and see if you can jump a golf cart over some school buses or something, that's a fun game. So it's not for everybody, but if you're like, this looks cool. I mean, and the story is absolutely fantastic. I mean, it's based on a book. You turn a book into a game, it's going to be real story driven. I mean, that's a given pretty much. So it's highly linear, very not repeatable. I mean, there was some DLC for it, and the game's got to be dirt cheap at this point. Last time I saw it on sale, even the DLC, I think it was just a couple bucks. And they're going to mark it way down if it's not cheap right now because Metro Exodus is coming out. And that's the number one reason to play it because Metro Exodus looks freaking amazing. And I think it's going to be a little bit less, creepy, dark creeping around, because you're above ground. I mean, that's the thing. And it's going to be way less linear. I mean, it's going to be story driven and stuff, but maybe like, not quite Witcher or Skyrim, but like walk around, get quests, progress the story, have a main quest. Maybe not have like side quests or anything, just have other places to explore. You're like, I don't want to take on this area until I have more ammo or better guns. So you go do this, do that, go here, raid this to get better equipment and stuff. That's at least what the initial reactions look like to me. I haven't looked way into it, but I saw some gameplay trailers and stuff. So everybody's amped about that game. It looks so good, and the people behind it aren't known for screwing up games as far as I know. So I'm definitely going to check it out. I mean, I might wait because I'm broke as hell as usual, spending all my money on medical bills lately, but I am getting better, and I am like ecstatic over that. Like the improvement now that I'm seeing like a different doctor, just paying for some freaking therapy and going to the gym and changing my diet because it turns out something I was eating was killing me. That hasn't been easy, but shit, I feel like 10 years ago. But anyway, I might have to wait till it goes on sale like a year or two from now or something, or some kind of Steam sale. I mean, GTA 5 still like 20-30 bucks. Big titles don't go down real quick. But yeah, I mean, that's the number one reason to play it right now. If you just think Exodus looks freaking awesome and you want the background, yeah, play this because it's a fantastic game. I'd probably overall, because I think it's my kind of game and I'm into this kind of game, give it like an 8 out of 10. I would have given it about a 6 out of 10 when I initially played it because boy were there game-breaking glitches. It was rough. And when it's on rails and you can't just avoid the area or not do this, not do that, there was one where every time you went to a certain spot and took a certain action, the game would almost always crash and it was almost impossible to progress. You almost had to just reset because your only option is load last save point, and that's not good enough. They seem to have patched it, or just, I don't know, playing it in windowed mode is different. It's out of something. It ain't happening this time. Could have been a graphics driver thing, I don't know, but yeah, it runs pretty smooth now. I don't think I've had a single crash in my latest playthrough, so that's cool. And I'm running a 970. That ain't exactly the most premier card. It's probably the card that got me the free copy of Metro. But yeah, if you just play the game, know what to expect, and you're into that kind of thing, and you just play it for what it is, don't be like, I wish I could go back here. I want to go back here. I want to travel here. Oh, this is so linear. Like, as long as you're just like, okay, it's a linear story game. Let's move on from that. Fantastic game. So I encourage everybody to check it out. In fact, I'll look up the price for you right now so you don't have to. Wow, in America, 20 bucks US. Ouch. I'd say it's definitely worth 20 bucks. It's just that ain't no sale. I mean, I'd probably pay exactly 30 bucks for it, I'd say. Probably not a whole lot more. I mean, it is a very complete, very long, very in-depth, very well-designed game. I'm sure it was 60 when it came out, but, I'm cheap as hell. So your mileage may vary based on how much money you have. Oh, and by the way, you can get Metro 2033, the new Redux version. Redo, is that French? I don't know. And Last Light for 30 bucks right now. That's not bad. So check it out if you're interested. Otherwise, that is my little miniature game review. Usually I go way more in-depth and show examples and sync it up, but I thought, people are just like, what's that? I might be interested. So I figured I'd give you the long and short of it. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next video.